All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It's Game 2, LGD China versus ForLove for the 1 million RMB Dota 2 Super League. That's $160,000 and change, the biggest prize pool outside of the International 3, and it's all going down, I should say, right now. Currently, LGD leading the best of 3, 1-0. I'm LDFB on the summit, and I'm joined here today by Gods.
Hey man, I could do with some change myself, considering that in China with the DSL, it's some pretty big change here up for grabs. The biggest tournament in terms of prize pool after the international. Focused most on the Asian scene, but it's great to see like some high-level gaming here. We've got LGD completely destroying ForLove in game number 1. ForLove, well, I mean, they're just outclassed. There's no real other way to anything else to say about game 1.
There really wasn't, and to be fair, a lot of things just didn't go right for ForLove. Things like 8K going for hooks and hitting the enemy familiars. Some bad luck there along the way, but let's be honest, they just got outplayed. LGD had the better laning, the better positioning for their supports. The early fissures were absolutely huge, and the one thing that I really felt was lacking in that game was Kaio's positioning. He didn't have much help from his team once he rotated top, but got caught out by Fissure repeatedly in the bottom lane. They got dove repeatedly and picked off top lane, and maybe it's the team's fault for not giving him backup, but he'll have to be a little more mindful of that this game. And well, certainly when there's likely a Yao Magnus afoot, a scary beast that wasn't so scary against Vici Gaming, and I'm interested to see if Yao is going to play that mag, and if so, if he can execute it to the degree that we're accustomed to seeing from him.
Yeah, well, we're accustomed to seeing some fantastic mag, although the last time it was against CTY Clockwork, and it was not the prettiest sight for you Yao fans out there.
Yeah, there won't be a clock this game, at least not through the first stage, unless LGD China want to get their hands on it, but there will be an Alchemist.
I think it may be the solo mid Alchemist that some teams have been doing lately.
So you go for the early, I believe it's the early mech, and sometimes even a medallion.
Yeah.
It's a pretty unusual Alchemist play. You don't normally take any points in Greevil's Greed. If it is that mid Alchemist, you max the spray. You actually get 1 point in the spray, 1 point in the concoction. Then you max the concoction, you max the spray. You only get the Greevil's Greed later on, and it makes him an absolute beast in fights.
Yeah, he gets these early game utility items, similar how, I mean, whatever it's sort of Beastmaster mid goes to the fast mech and sort of stuff. But Alchemist, the stun early max is a ton of damage. It's AoE if there's multiple heroes next to each other, and Acid Spray is actually pretty good. Combine it with a Medallion. I imagine we see ForLove looking to pick up some heroes who can do some physical DPS. Even heroes like Weaver are suddenly really powerful early to mid game carries when you stack all this minus armor. You don't have to go for that anti-mage type carry anymore.
Now we enter the band stage, and the question really is, LGD China, they've got the Juggernaut, they have the Magnus, they already have a decent amount of late game, but what style are they going to play? Because they don't have his carry yet. It could be, like we've talked about, it could be an anti-mage. We're not going to see that as it gets banned out, but there's some other options in the pool. I think LGD, the beautiful thing about their draft is it's wide open. They have a great option for an aggressive tri-lane. If they get a Lina, they'll have a great follow-up stun. If not, there's always something like a twin-headed dragon, and with Healing Ward and Magnus, you can push early. You can also take it late with Empower, as well as a second carry of some kind, and I'm just curious to see where LGD goes, but the one thing they really have going for them is versatility in their lanes, as well, maybe not so much in the lanes, but certainly in their style for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Antimage taken out, but Luna, one of those sort of heroes Silas played quite a bit of that LGD may want to run if they want to go for another quick, easy win. You can get a lot of early game pushing power from that. They have basically a 2-3 core strategy with Juggernaut, Luna, Mag. The Mag, most likely in the mid lane, they can go something like you mentioned with an offensive Trallin. Generally, you think you don't really want an offensive Trallin against Keeper of the Light, but Juggernaut with Blade Fury, one of the sort of better heroes to be trying to do that with.
Let's see where they go. For the time being, they pick up a Queen of Pain on the side of ForLove, and I don't know, their lineup feels a bit squishy right now. They don't really have that reliable frontline tank unless it is the Alchemist who goes mid. Queen of Pain could be the solo, or she could be a part of a tri-lane top if they want to put an Alchemist. Frankly, Alk does okay against Magnus. He could even farm well, but Queen of Pain can actually win the lane versus Magnus. So I feel, given that, you don't want Yao to go mid as Mag and have a really fast start. And I guess the other question is, I mean, do they maybe even think about throwing the Queen of Pain off lane? The Mag goes mid, and there's a lot of sort of options right now for ForLove, but I just don't feel like they have a very strong laning stage.
Yeah, it's possibly going to be the farming Alchemist now with the Queen of Pain pickup. The only way they don't do that is to do a safe lane Queen of Pain and some sort of an offensive Trallin, which means they need to get something to fit that offensive Trallin here. But I don't think you want to go offensive Trallin against what LG have, and it's going to be a puck last pick. So definitely looking at the Alchemist Trallin and possibly even Alchemist offensive Trallin, because Puck and Queen of Pain, neither of them that good in the off lane.
Not really the strongest. It's a decent tri-lane, but the issue is they have 2 melee heroes, so they're not going to win so much in terms of just kind of sitting in the lane and trading blows. What they'll want to do is abuse chakra magic and spam their spells as much as possible.
Siler Nature's Prophet.
This can't be right.
What's going on? Zhao 8, man.
Is this one position Nature's
what's
Prophet?
He thinking? I think it's just a safe lane solo, and generally a role that Zhao 8's played in the past, but I think they decide that Zhao 8 more suited to sort of the tri-lane juggernaut, which is kind of like your 3 position. In some ways, LGD don't have a true 1 position hero here. They're going to be looking to just dominate the early to mid game. Both Siler and Zhao 8 will be looking to get some sort of more cost-effective damage items. Maybe even see the mech still picked up for Siler, but I think this is a cool little way to lane things here.
Yeah, if Siler gets an early mech and you have healing ward, you can push pretty hard. You won't die anyway. You'll be at full HP the entire time. And
what's the world come to? We're talking about Siler buying a mech?
That's true.
Will he even be able to find the item in the shop?
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, at the same time, if you run your Prophet safe lane, do you really just want to be rushing a Midas and try to take it late game? I feel there's better options if you want to do that.
Man, we'll see. We'll see some.
I will be surprised if he actually buys one, though.
Midas Shadowblade or something.
It could work. This is a game where an Orchid could really be devastating if you can get it early. Because ForLove, they have... I would actually say all 5 heroes are very vulnerable to that silence.
Yeah, we'll see. As for ForLove, we'll quickly introduce them. We have got 8K playing the Queen of Pain. We've got Yu handling the puck, Hansi playing the Nyx Assassin, Zippo, the former DK player on the Keeper Light, and Kyo, the new member who's been playing that carry role, playing the Alchemist.
On the side of LGD, it'll be Sylar taking up the... Yeah, you're not hallucinating. Nature's Prophet, that's right. Yao on the Magnus DDC, playing the Rubik Zhao 8 on the Tri-Lane Juggernaut, and DD on the Sand King. So, looking at LGD with 2 melee heroes of their own on the Tri-Lane, and given that, I mean, the more you think about it with the Sand King being the 3rd component, it's not really that strong of a Tri-Lane for LGD either. If anything, especially if it's a safe lane Tri-Lane for ForLove, I'd give them a pretty significant advantage.
Yeah, I think for ForLove, the good news is they can almost guarantee they know LGD's lanes. If it wasn't, I mean, if Zhao 8 was on the Nature's Prophet, maybe you don't know them, but LGD sends Silo to the off lane as like suicide solo. That would never happen with this team. At least I would be entirely shocked out of my mind. So ForLove know they can get a 1v1 matchup at top. They're going to send Puck top to verse the Nature's Prophet. Pretty much guaranteed 1v1 matchup there for him. Queen of Pain will be mid against the Magnus. And like you said, one of the heroes who does slightly better against the Mag. You can get I wouldn't say win the lane, but you can win the farm war. You're not going to be able to easily kill the Mag. You can't really stop Mag from farming. You can just get a sort of slight edge in terms of farm.
Yao shouldn't die. That being said, I have seen Magnuses go mid and die to Queen of Pain, so it's certainly possible.
I've seen vice versa, though. I've seen Queen of Pains die to Magnuses when they get overly cocky.
Well, if you get a lucky rune as well, I feel without that, it probably shouldn't happen. Without a rotation from these supports. Speaking of potential rotations, no smokes on LGD, so it makes sense because Zhao 8 can't really do much if left alone as the Juggernaut, so we won't see any early ganks mid, I feel, but it's going to make life a little bit easier for 8K and potentially seeing this can be more aggressive.
Yeah, it's hard to smoke gank him anyways, as Queen of Pain does as the blink. We saw it last game with the attempted, last game it worked on the left stripe. What am I talking about? Queen of Pain has a blink though, and while it's daytime, getting that first lift off is really hard, even with a smoke, so probably no ganks towards the mid lane until that first night, but Trilane versus Trilane at bottom, and I guess it'll be fairly even between the two teams. I don't think either Trilane has a huge edge over the other.
I would say ForLove a little bit, simply because they have Illuminate and they're a defensive tri-lane. But if LGD find 1 kill, then it can really start rolling their way.
Early Illuminate you. Zippo's like, I'm just going to blast down some of these illusions. Also hits Zhao 8, forces a Tango back out, but Zippo not too worried. He actually bought 4 Clarities at level 1, so he's expecting to spam this level 1 Illuminate a lot and be level 1 for a bit of time here, at least knowing that he's not going to get a super fast level 2.
Yeah, and for the time being, the lane's going to be pushed into the tower, so it's going to push out pretty heavily. Zhao 8 body blocking the neutral camp with his Illusion Rune. So in the end, they blocked the creep wave a lot, and it's going to push.
It seemed almost intentional that they did that. I'm not sure why you'd want to push this lane out so much, but we'll see how it works out. They need to try D-ward this pool, because if they're pushing out the lane, they want to be using this pool. Keeper Light does have sentries, and I don't think he's going to use it. I think it was just an he probably thinks it's just an illusion blocking, so we won't see neutral pulls until past the 2-minute mark.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you do if you force the lane into your tower, then the lane's going to push really hard, which means you can go D-ward much more safely than if the lane's sort of sitting towards your own tower, or even just sort of closer to it, then you try to go D-Ward or Zippo, you could get caught and maybe give up a first blood. So this is a little bit safer.
They just spam the hell out of Zhao Wei. Illuminate plus Mana Burn, and Zhao Wei, it's like, man, that's not cool. He's already going to have to chew through all his Tengos and still be short of HP. So I guess this is their plan. Just use all these extra clarities that Keeper got just to win this lane by level 1 spam. Because once Zhao Wei's running low on regen, it gets a lot harder. The supports can pull them some Tengos, of course. So
they got the camp de-warded, but LGD comes right back in with a sentry of their own, and they don't really have the best combat heroes in ForLove. They do have great spam heroes. These Illuminates doing some work, but the camp is going to get blocked off again. So that's
almost the end of his clarities, and he still needs that level 2 before he has the chakra. He needs to be looking to, well, I guess they are sharing the XP already. It's not like he's out of XP zone, but Nyx Assassin probably going to be the first hit level 2 in this bottom lane on the Radiant side.
I would say that Zippo he's hit one hero with every Illuminate. They've all been pretty much full charged, aside from maybe that first one at level 1, and at least 2 or 3 of them have hit 2 or 3 heroes. So it's a good start. DD comes in near the creeps, and then backs off. I thought maybe someone would go there. ForLove, already level 2 on all 3 heroes. LGD, it's not quite there. DD's getting close, but for the time being, nobody really getting a whole lot out of this lane. So, Gods, I think it's time to take a quick look at our solo lanes. How are we doing there?
Well, Queen of Pain finds a haste rune at the top river against Yao's Mag, but Yao, he's not too worried about this because he can just bottle Crow. He's a couple, 4 or 5 CS behind the Queen of Pain, but this is what you'd expect around this time. As for top lane, Parker versus Nature's Prophet, actually trading quite a bit of harass here. You may be looking for a kill. He's actually orbed in against Nature's Prophet. That's some risky ballsy play, but Sylar, he shrugs it off.
Yeah, he ran past him, used the orb to get away, but a bit dangerous to extend that far. Sylar has teleport, was maybe thinking if I get 1 or 2 more auto attacks, I'll go. And for the time being, it's 8K who is rune controlling. Having a haste rune early could be a potential first blood. Yao's going to look for a skewer, but a nice blink away. And for the time being, bottom. ForLove are just trying to, like you said, spam LGD out of the lane. And although the camp is blocked, LGD forced to farm under their own tower. So far, pretty even in terms of gold and experience. A slight lead to LGD just because of the 2 solo lanes, really. And I mean, actually, this Alchemist isn't farming that well right now. I think it's okay just because they can farm stacks later on, but I'm not really convinced about the spam the tri-lane just yet. I imagine they expect later on they'll really start to pull ahead.
Yeah, this is a really weird start to this game. Nyx Assassin's looking for another mana burn on this jug. He really just wants to be so annoying. This could be a first blood, though. He gets the Blade Free off. Nyx Assassin, no points in Carapace. Zhao Wei, first blood goes to LGD.
DD played him like the fiddle, walking into the secret shop, popping back out, and just ForLove, no idea how to deal with that. The Acid Spray is here, and you can see the potential for them to bring everybody in LGD low, but they haven't killed anyone off. Meanwhile, middle lane, 8K pops a haste turn. Yao gonna run away, still has access to Skewer. He's really doing a nice job. Now 8K is gonna charge towards the bottom rune. Shockwave and Skewer here. If he can find the angle, no longer. Won't be able to get the kill. Will we see Queen of Pain continue towards bottom lane? No, she won't. But the Courier just barely able to escape. Meanwhile, top lane, Sylar forced to TP out. A flurry of action, only 1 kill thus far. And now Yao. What did he do mid? How does that even happen?
Queen of Pain was just like, I'm going to solo kill Yao, because Queen of Pain beat Yao to the bottom rune, which Yao was like, oh, I'm going to get this. And then, oh, you saw that bitch. Then Yao just was walking back mid, and Queen of Pain's like, I'm just going to chase you and dive you into the tower. Yao's like, okay, I'll shockwave you, skewer you. The skewer stun basically secured the kill.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, DDC gets caught out, dropping low, will be picked off on the back lines. It's going to be Zippo. The trade is there for LGD. No Blade Fury, though. At this point, they're out of mana. There are 7 stick charges, hasn't popped them yet. I thought maybe it would look to go, but that Burrow Strike, well-timed, in synchronization with the Impale. Now Hansi on the run. Can't Carapace out of this one. Doesn't have it anyway. LGD starting to pull away with game 2. Leading the series 1-0. Now leading this game 4-1. Meanwhile, top lane. Constant action in all 3 lanes. Sylar taking some big damage. Actually giving almost as good as he gets. He is rushing the Midas with the early gloves picked up. So, well, when it's all said and done, a hasty Queen of Pain who's controlling the runes just shouldn't die to a Magnus. But if you overextend, anything is possible.
Got intimidated by Yao's handsome charm.
It's or distracted, one or the other.
Yeah, distracted, more likely. Especially they're playing it land on the studio. Yao probably just looked over it, gave him like the cute eyes or something.
Gave him the googly eyes, and AK was like, I don't know what to do, man. He's too cute. But in all seriousness, that really just shouldn't happen, especially not when you're hasted.
Well,
so
yeah, Yao Mag happened, and as a result, LGD find themselves winning pretty much 3 lanes here. Puck and Nature's Prophet having another man fight at top lane.
Sylar can't get out. It looks like you may find that kill. He almost dies to the Prophet ult, but barely able to live through it. Man, that was close, Sylar. Buyback from him. Where's he gonna go? He's walking right back into that TP. He realizes it. A second too late. He's got boots. Sylar doesn't, but spawns the treants. Needs to find this kill. Can he do it? One hit. Down will go. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Zippo's on the run. Xiaowei giving chase. Has phase. Can maybe bring him down. You need like 3 or 4 auto attacks and maybe a crit. Won't find it. And then a Blade Fury. But in the end, he'll back off.
TP from Puck. Very unwise to you players watching. Never use a TP like that when you're guaranteed to die. He's going to respawn. He can't TP to lane, and well, he just wasted 135 gold.
Bottom lane, there was a burrow strike. Xiaowei not going to actually commit to that. A little bit too far under the enemy tower for his own liking. Boy, this game has just been a hailstorm of activity so far. They'll rotate Hansi mid. They've actually decided that he needs to get some levels because he's not getting them bottom. And that's the one thing for ForLove. The Nyx isn't really the strongest tri-lane hero. Sure, someone like Sankate isn't necessarily, but the difference is Sankate doesn't need the levels as badly as Nyx. You need that vendetta. Zippo gets caught out. Where's the burrow strike? They're going to find it. Zippo will get picked off. He wanted to get some vision up. They won't even use a Blade Fury or an Impale. They find an easy kill. LGD starting to run away with this one right now. Xiaowei, there's a blink in from AK. Tries to turn around, gets caught by a burrow strike. Drops low in his own right. Xiaowei on the hunt. Needs a crit. Doesn't actually. The auto attacks are enough. In comes Puck. Omni's here. Xiaowei, triple kill. Mega kill for him, and still kicking butt. Will finally go down. The double is there, but they had to bring their Puck and their Queen of Pain just to deal with this tri-lane. Meanwhile, mid and top just going smooth as, well, as a baby's bottom for LGD.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I mean, for LGD, this is like all according to plan. You bring both your solos. Well, we've got a mag who's going to have Arcane Blink soon. Sylar's going to have his mech up in just a second. Also pressuring this tier 1 tower. Keep it like force top to try and defend this. But this is just a level 1 Illuminate at the moment. Going to hit the level 4 mark, so it will be level 2 now. But even so, this tower actually looking to get down to deny range.
Meanwhile, top lane, tower's dropping low. Isn't in deny range yet. Sylar really wants this tower kill. He'll have his Midas pretty much regardless. But getting it, well, it's going to make a difference for his team. And looking right now for LGD with a pause in the action, we'll check the gold graph. About 2,500 gold lead for LGD, sitting on around a 3,000 experience lead as well. They're in fantastic shape. Sylar will teleport back to base. He got the tier 1 on the end top, and now he'll get his Midas too. So the money is going to flow. And it's really going to be a one-position Nature's Prophet.
Absolutely. Maybe we see the mech, but
nah, this is an Orchid Shadowblade game. The way he's started, you get an Orchid, Queen of Pain is not going to farm a BKB anytime soon. Puck isn't going to farm anything to deal with an Orchid anytime soon. If you get it, I think ForLove are completely screwed.
Yeah, I'm all for that. We are going to see LGU start pressuring this bottom lane now. They're going to scout beneath the tower, wondering if any heroes there. Not going to find anyone. The healing ward helping negate some of that acid damage, and Xiaowei may just spin down this creep wave, try to get a fast tier 1.
For the moment, it's sitting on. Now he'll deploy the Blade Fury, and really, if you're LGD, you won your tri-lane, even with solos rotating into it, and you left your 2 solos alone, so you look at that, we're going to look at, I imagine, a very fast Blink Dagger for Yao, and Jeed, it is the mag that we've come to expect from him. Bottom lane teleport comes in from ForLove. They're bringing the whole kit and caboodle here. Can they find a kill? No, just you TP's in to hold on to this tier 1. They feel it's so important that they'll leave every other lane empty aside from mid. Just Zippo sitting there to defend it. And, well, for LGD, they've rotated forward. Difference is Prophet can go right back to farming if he wants.
Yeah, Prophet happily will just say, okay, well, you've got a lot of heroes here. There's some free farm at top. There's neutrals. He's actually going to go for Zippo mid. He's faking a TP mid.
Here comes 8K. They've spotted his rotation, and they might push bottom instead. In fact, they will, and Queen of Pain can't TP in now, so this push is going to work.
Yeah, Prophet was considering that mid lane gank on the Keeper Light. You come in from behind, it's a pretty easy kill with the help of the mag here, but they'll start looking to set things up here with this tier 1 tower push at bottom.
LGD have really just outmaneuvered ForLove. Dream Coil's gonna catch 3, but where's the follow-up? Orb comes in, not doing a whole lot. Xiaowei, Blade Furies out of the coil. That doesn't actually stun you. DDC clips, but not down yet. Omni comes through. Xiaowei doing good damage. Queen of Pain has arrived, but Epicenter lands on 3 and does good damage. Orb again from you. That might be enough to turn this fight around. Not sure just yet. Sylar dishing as good as he's getting. You will go down. Sylar maybe as well. No, a great lift by DDC. Throws them both up. Tosses them back down. A crit. Another kill. And it's a 4-hero, not wipe, but damn close. Zippo wasn't there. They could have used some Illuminates, but in the end, probably wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have mattered. And if he was there illuminating, well, LGD are just rotating out, finding farm elsewhere, out farming ForLove. And the only reason this tier 1 mid tower is still standing is because of Zippo's rotation. So they have to defend some lanes. Nature's Prophet will TP to whichever lanes aren't being defended. So if Keeper Light's bottom, he says, okay, we'll take mid tower instead. So wherever ForLove go, it seems to be that they're losing kills, they're losing towers, and this game starting to fall further and further out of reach for them.
Once the blink dagger comes for Yao, oh man. Then things get really scary. Then they could dive these towers, and ForLove, I feel a couple of heroes get caught in RP. They probably lose Roche and a tier 2 off of that, so they really can't afford to give up those kills. And the worst part is, they have, well, they're gonna go bottom lane right now. It's an unstable concoction stolen by DDC, Blade Fury from Xiao8, but Alchemist able to get off this Chemical Rage. That's not a hero you want to dive. They will back off. Here comes the counter stun. It will fly in, but really too far to chase. Zippo's even recalling. He's bringing in you, but you're just like, well, I don't really want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, these asset points are good for defending, but look how little damage this unstable concoction's doing. I feel like it's Alchemist's best skill at the moment as far as team fighting and defending towers. You need to have this hero killing potential.
Yeah, it's only level 1. Generally, you see 1 point acid spray and then a max of concoction first.
Be canceled at bottom.
Yao's in trouble, maybe on the run. Well, the orb's gonna fly through. Doesn't even catch Sylar. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Nyx does go down. Keo as well. Now back to the mid lane where Sylar gets coiled. And Queen of Pain hated upon RP. Not gonna catch you because he phase shift out of it. What a beautiful phase shift, but Yao able to buy time for that 1 position profit to get away. They will find a counter kill. When it's all said and done, it's also a bloodbath in bottom lane where a second hero falls, Keo, to drop as well. So call it 1 for 3, and they save Sylar. Another victory, and what do you know? Xiao8 has taught him well. He's going for mech.
Well, some Nature's Prophet lessons coming out. Sylar does manage to find that item as LGD. The big thing here is they cancel a Nyx Assassin TP mid with their 3 heroes bottom, get a kill there, and that leads to, well, a trading of kills at mid lane. They find more pickers at bottom. They're just outmaneuvering their opponents. They're just playing them around like a little fiddle. And LGD, they're in such good control of this game now. Sylar's going to have a very fast mech up with his treads. He's going to be tanky more than anything. And that's really the big thing coming out with these pushes is that, sure, LGD have a strong team final, but they're also really hard to kill. The healing ward rarely being able to be brought down. And on top of this, they're going to soon have a mech. Now we have Mag's Blink Dagger in. Yikes.
This is going to fuel the aggression. LGD, they ain't going to back off. Not now. They have the drums, the Yasha. Xiao8 might even end up being the carry this game. He's certainly playing like one. 6-1 at 6 in that offensive tri-lane. Healing Ward almost maxed. Illuminate spam. Well, Healing Ward really counters this to a large degree. You can spam the Illuminate, then heroes just tank the towers, especially for pushing the tier 1s. You don't even need the creep wave. The backdoor protection doesn't apply to those, so LGD. Looking at a tier 1 mid, and with the Blink Dagger up on Yao, fresh and shiny, we could see a Blink Skewer even without RP. And, well, Illuminate comes through, but you just see these heroes really don't care.
Yeah, they just, without creep wave, just trying to take this tier 1 stun coming in. Burrow Strike, Epicenter, ForLove just getting disintegrated once again. Yao Skewer are going to finish off the Alchemist. Keeper of Light's already fallen, and Queen of Pain, last one standing, not going to be standing for too much longer, brought down by Sylar. There's a buckler here, no mech just yet for Sylar, and ForLove, they're just going to lose 1 by 1.
I think
nice
3 hero impale. They're fighting the acid spray. If that orb connects, it'll kill a few. Only catches Sylar. Port is there. Sylar lives with the mech armor, and as well as the Basilius able to barely survive. Oh man, I don't know what he's saying, but I imagine he can't be too happy with 3 heroes escaping on like a quarter of HP, like a quarter of a tenth of their HP, a 40th.
A little bit too high.
Too hard to kill. And I mean, if they were a little bit closer, it could have been a different fight. But I think any questions about DD and how well he's going to perform for LGD can start to be put to bed here. That was a 3-hero Burrow Strike, a 3-hero Epicenter. He won them a huge fight. And normally you'd expect the Mag to be the one starting the fights. Yao having a blink, but didn't have RP. Didn't need it either.
Yeah, didn't need it at all that fight. Well, towards the end it started getting a little risque, but at that point there's only 2 heroes left up on the Radiant side who are just trying to chase and get some scrappy pickoffs, which is kind of where ForLove excel at this point, is those cleaning up kills here and there, or getting heroes kills on the side lane. The Queen of Pain, the Puck can do that. The problem is Nyx Assassin, Keeper of the Light, they're not really serving much purpose. Keeper of the Light can maybe start wearing away heroes with Illuminate spam. Alchemist, not much he can do, especially with this build of his. He can just stall pushes using Acid Spray, it seems. Xiao8's
going to run right into Hansi undercover of Vendetta, but the Impale isn't there. He went for a Vendetta Strike first, and while that was happening, AK gets revealed. The gank is going to fail in the end. I don't know if they could have killed him even if they hit everything just right. Would have to been the Queen of Pain ultimate as well. Would have been close, but won't be there in the end. Healing Ward cools down. They're going to push mid. Vitality Booster was the choice for DD just to tank up so he can walk in and dish out the multiple Burrow Strikes, look to live through it all. Well, Healing Ward hasn't been picked off yet. Worried about jumping inside of range of Burrow Strike right now. And meanwhile to the side, it's Yao, the vigilant, watchful Magnus waiting in the wings. DD. The tower's going to go down, and now Hansi's caught out of position. RP catches out too, but where's the follow-up? Not there just yet. Puck Dream Coil. Oh, the mech. Oh, the mech. Completely saved. Bails out LGD when it looked to be going bad. Now 2 heroes dead. 8K on the run. Hansi 2. And something stolen. Sylar joins the fight. That's going to be a decent impale, but the Burrow Strike is going to be better. Finds an additional kill. Queen of Pain ult as well. Everything and the kitchen sink tossed in. That was not the best Omni Slash I've ever seen. It doesn't even matter. Meanwhile, Epicenter will catch out and bring down the Queen of Pain when it's all said and done. 4 dead. Call it 5 if Zippo goes down, which he will. A team wipe in the shadow of the enemy base. LGD, this looks like another sub 20-minute GG coming out from them.
Absolutely. Not quite as dominant as last game, but it's getting there now. 24 kills to 8. Sand does take a fall, even with that Vitality booster of his. He's probably thinking, what else do I need? Let's pick up some treads here. Let's pick up drop some more braces, Drum of Endurance. But ForLove, they're not going to call out the GG just yet. I think this game, much more worth fighting out than the last one. The last one, there really was no coming back from. But Queen of Pain Puck, they've got some good burst damage. If they can find pickoffs here and there, there's still some small potential. Nyx misses a Vendetta hit, actually. We'll just take out a Healing Ward here in the jungle, and we're not going to see much further chase coming from ForLove, maybe.
Oh, well, you say that. They were thinking about it, but wisely they will back off. That's not a chase you want to go for. Not when Rubik has a Force Staff. It'll be delivered soon. It isn't there yet, but you say they can fight on, and I agree it's a better position than Game 1, but it ain't a good position. Looking at Sylar now, he's very close to an Orchid if he wants to go for that. Could be a Shadowblade too. I think this is a game where the Orchid Rush just completely ruins what ForLove can do. Already, they're finding it hard to live through these fights. You throw a Silence on top of that, Queen of Pain and Puck are suddenly easy pickings. And look at DD. They just want to end the game now. Double Vitality Booster. Let's get Roche. Let's go high ground, guys. That's exactly what he's saying.
Double Vitality Booster. Holy crap. As we're going to see a 4-star pick up for the Rubik. Mag's going for a BKB, so that's some survivability of his own. And Jug, well, he's got his completed Mantis style. This is...
I think DD has a date. Like, he's got somewhere important to be. Maybe Zhao Ji has a friend or something. Xiao 8 helping out his teammates, because DD is really in a hurry right here.
Or he's just trying to, like, impress Zhao Ji's friend, like, by going some trolley item build, be like, look at this item build I did. Aren't I cool? It's like in the pub games where you go for these, like, the most stupid item build possible and win.
Yeah, just to be the class clown and kind of show off. Oh, I don't care, I'm just that good. Sylar teleports top. But the rest of the team, the bulk and the vanguard of LGD, are going to barrel down mid. It looks like 4 heroes grouped up. No, they'll rotate top. They'll look for that last tier 2, and I think it's the safe way to play. Sylar, the orb will fly in. They were maybe thinking about a go on him with Hansi in the neighborhood, but to be honest, it's dangerous. ForLove desperately want to stop the impending 5-man push by cutting it off at the legs, find a pick-off, but they can't do it. In fact, they'll try to go now, but they need to get the hell out. This is looking bad and worse for them. Puck able to orb away, you on the run. Can he escape? Yao's chasing. Won't get in range. Meanwhile, though, middle lane, Xiao 8 finding solo kills. Poor Zippo.
Poor Zippo. And Xiao 8 and Power giving him this cleave to just bring down creep waves faster. This is just going to be probably looking to see this top tier 2 go down, and I think LGD ready to start breaching high ground with this Aegis of theirs.
With double Vitality boosters on DD, you're good. You're good to go.
Yeah. Not much else you need.
Seriously, this is a tanky Sand King, 1700 HP.
That's the timing push. Double Vitality and Sand King. That's when you're ready to go.
Yeah, forget the mech, forget the Blink Dagger on the mag. It's all about the double Vitality boosters. They're online. Let's go break the base. LGD, they want that sub 20-minute GG. They might get it here if they can succeed on round 1 of this push. How many kills will they find? That's the question. DDC lumbers in, lurches in, picks up Nyx, throws him back. That's a 2-hero burrow. Clips a few, but the RP comes through after that. DD has an epicenter just yet. Doesn't even need to. Wisely held onto it through the carapace. Yao picks up a double. Put 2 on the scoreboard for him. The chase isn't over yet for ForLove. They're going to try and fight, but really Queen of Pain stolen by DDC. And
the Healing Ward never got touched that entire fight. All this chip damage that ForLove are throwing LGD just gets shrugged off. Now Sylar pops a mech, but the Healing Ward up the entire team fight was just...
Yeah, you know, the thing is they really can't touch it. Not with Sand King and Rubik there. Anyone who walks in to kill the Healing Ward is going to die. There's no Treants, there's no Lone Druid there, there's nothing to snipe it safely, no Naga Illusions. And when you walk in to kill it, you die, and you die very quickly.
Well, ForLove make it at 20 minutes, but they're not making it much further.
Impale will catch everyone, but really, what does it matter for Han? See, the GGs come out. ForLove get 2-0'd. They get KO'd by LGD China, and that's going to drop ForLove 0-2 in this group. Not a good start for them in the Dota 2 Super League, but LGD, for them, a much-needed win, and they do it with the International 3 East qualifiers looming in less than 72 hours.
Yeah, LGD make a big statement here that they're coming and they're coming hard in the Tier 3 qualifiers, especially after yesterday where Vici Gaming kind of, not so much as struggled, but just didn't look very convincing against ForLove. LGD's like, come on, this is how you do it when you're versing these teams that you should stop. That's where I feel a team like Vici Gaming, they can beat and compete with the top tier teams, but they also will have these games where they just don't play like the top team that they should be. Whereas LGD, your IGs, your DK, they go up against a team like ForLove, they will stomp them 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, LGD takes care of business here today. They take game 2, they take the series. They're now 1-1 in the Dota 2 Super League. And Hipovic, a little ... from him because it's going to be a radiant victory. Don't let that fool you guys. It was LGD China all the way 2-0. They're going to take it. They look convincing. The Dota 2 Super League will resume tomorrow, and tomorrow is a big match. IG versus Vici Gaming. That's going to be an exciting match. It could be a total smackdown. In fact, knowing IG, it probably will be, but I'm excited to see CTY match wits with Ferrari mid.
Yeah, that'll be a really fantastic day of games. Vici Gaming up against IG. I think that's actually the 2 p.m. match Singapore time, so that's at 11 p.m. our time, Pacific time. For you Europeans, it's something like 6 in the morning, some unfriendly hour. But
yeah, I think 5 in the morning. But yeah,
definitely worth staying up for. If not, definitely make sure you catch the VODs.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm LD. He's Gods. Go watch the Western Qualifier. There's nothing else to see here. Twitch.tv/the Studio, Twitch.tv/Toby1Dota, or Twitch.tv/Sheaver Gaming. Thank you for making us a part of your day, but we're done for now. We'll see you tomorrow.